We've just passed the 100-day mark until the presidential election. We're taking a closer look at some of the battleground states which helped to determine the presidency in 2016 and how they've changed since then. Our latest CBS News Battleground Tracker shows Joe Biden leading in Michigan by 6 points. President Trump's handling of the coronavirus pandemic appears to be weighing his poll numbers down. Our estimates show the president with a slight 1-point edge in Ohio, a state critical for a 2020 electoral win. Ohio is a state the president won with a comfortable margin in 2016. CBS News Director of Elections and Surveys, Anthony Salvanto, joins us now. Anthony, good to see you. Let's talk about Michigan, first of all, where our CBS News Battleground Tracker estimates Joe Biden is leading by 6 points. How is the coronavirus in the state impacting polls there?
Hi, Elaine, is exactly what you alluded to in your intro. We asked people, did the president's response to the coronavirus, when Michigan was being so hard hit by it this spring, did that help the state or hurt the state, or was it even neutral? And more people said that it hurt the state. And then you look and you see how closely correlated views on the coronavirus and his handling of it are with vote, and you can see that it's clearly weighing down on his poll numbers there, Elaine.
Well, let's move now to Wisconsin and Pennsylvania. The CBS News Battleground Tracker currently shows both those states as a toss-up. What are the issues in play there?
So you want to look at the map in some ways as the older or traditional battlegrounds, the upper Midwest. You talk about Pennsylvania, you talk about Michigan, we just mentioned, Ohio, and certainly Wisconsin, which you just noted. All of those have been in play for many elections, and the president flipped them all from Democrats, in some cases by very close margins, notably Michigan, notably Wisconsin last time. Well, then you look at a difference between their composition and what you might call the newer battlegrounds emerging more this year. That's in the Sun Belt. You're talking your Arizona, your Texas, your Georgia, and then, of course, perennially, or quadrennially, I should say, Florida. Well, there's a difference in that those upper Midwestern states, their electoral composition, for one thing, it has more white voters, and Donald Trump has won the white vote by substantial margins in recent elections, very specifically white working class voters, white non-college degree holding voters. Well, across all of those states right now, and the reason, one big reason that they're in play, is that Joe Biden has sliced, in some cases, about 10 points off the president's margins with them. For example, we were talking about Michigan. President won them. We had 62% last time. He's at like 52% now, at least in the polling. But the point is that Joe Biden is making some inroads with those groups that the president flipped last time, that enabled him to flip a lot of those states in 2016. And that's why they're then competitive once again, Elaine.
And Anthony, President Trump was trailing in a number of polls in 2016 right up until election night. Remind us what has changed in methodology between then and now.
Okay, so for example, since we were talking about Pennsylvania, right? Late deciders in Pennsylvania, people who made up their minds at the last minute, 15% of the electorate, and they went for Donald Trump by double digits, right? Like 54%. So what that is a reminder to everybody that these are campaigns and people change their minds. You should never look at a poll and think, okay, that's it, it's set in stone. These are dynamic things. And that's a communications issue, right? That's about all of us telling and saying that the polls are about people and people change their minds. But the other part of methodology is this. Starting in 2018 and continuing now, what we've been doing is taking a more comprehensive look at the whole of the electorate in all 50 states. And that's one of the things that drives the Battleground Tracker now. Now, our CBSN audience is, I know we're tech savvy as you're watching this, so I can get a little wonky here. What we do is we interview massive numbers of people throughout all the states, but then we also look at the voter files, millions of voter files, public voter files in all of these states. And we know exactly how many voters are registered there and what the composition of the electorate is. And we combine that data, all of those interviews, with that voter file data, as well as people's vote history for whether or not they're really likely to turn out. And it's that combination model that drives the Battleground Tracker. And the other thing about it is, in 2016, a lot of people said, well, look, there's lots of polling in places like Florida and like Ohio where white working class voters are moving towards Donald Trump. We wonder if the same thing is happening in Wisconsin or in Pennsylvania, but maybe there wasn't enough polling to find out. Well, the answer for polling sometimes is to do more polling. And so we are doing polling in all of those states. And what we do with our models is combine all that information so that if you see a particular type of voter group moving towards a candidate, moving towards Biden, moving towards Trump, in a whole bunch of states, it's very reasonable to assume, or at least go look and see if they're moving to him or her in all the other states. And that's what the Battleground Tracker does as well. So it combines and it uses more information and it uses models in order to put together that composite piece of the electorate.
All right, Anthony Salvanto, we always appreciate your wonkiness. Helps us to better understand that political landscape. Thank you so much, Anthony.
Thank you.